my skin so gorgeous. We thank the life gorgeous. Thank the life gorgeous. I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Life Gorgeous. It's Craigers. It's where I share my magical life in hopes of improving your life. She's bubbly. She's vivacious. She is back from the East Coast, Allie Mac Cay. Why the hat? Why the hat?
Thank you for asking. There's thank you. You're delightful. I wore a hat last time, so I don't want people to think, does she have a forehead? I do. I have a 5 head. That's neither here nor there. But I had a little health scare this past. Yeah. It started about a week and a half ago. Woke up with a pink splotch on this eyebrow. See, it's covered here with hair and a hat, and I'll explain. Big pink splotch. Thought, well, that's weird. I obviously got bit by something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Couple days later, half of my face was numb. And I thought, whatever bit me could be bad.
Right.
So I, of course, waited another day and my eye was near swollen shut. And I thought, now's the time to go to the doctor.
Right.
Went to the doctor and they said, ooh, you either are allergic to whatever bit you, so it's an allergic reaction, or it could be infected. We're not sure yet. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And they said, just get the antibiotic and then just feel it out, because I don't want to take an antibiotic if I don't need it, right?
Right.
So a couple days go by and it got even worse. So I started taking the antibiotic. Another day goes by and whole face numb, eye swollen shut again, and a little rash.
Whoa.
So I took a picture of it, sent it to the doctor, and they said, get back here immediately. Walked back in and they were like, yeah, you have shingles. And I'm like,
I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that because that's what I was anticipating.
Craig, all I know of shingles is the commercial that I make fun of when the guy's like, everyone's like, I'm going to this big event. Can't wait for it. Shingles doesn't care. Like everything that these people want to go to that they're excited about, the voiceover comes on and it's like, shingles doesn't care. Shingles jacks you up.
Yeah, it's very painful, they say.
Yeah.
And some people get it in their back and some people get it in their forehead, I guess.
Yeah.
Did it spread? It spread?
Yes, it sure did. It went from this eyebrow area, which apparently you don't want it near your eye because it can literally blind you.
Correct.
So I had to go to ophthalmologist, everything. So it went from here and then spread to my forehead right here. Hence the hat. And hence I'm in the very attractive scabbing phase right now.
Okay. And I'm a little surprised that the doctor initially couldn't diagnose it as shingles.
Yeah. Everybody's
My understanding is it's something chicken pox. It's related to that. And it happens to people on occasion. It's painful. It goes away. So how long did you have it for? You still have it. You're saying it's going away, but
yes,
it's scabbing right now.
It goes through the phases. But apparently when I first went in, since I didn't have the blisters or anything, I'm going to give the doctor a pass on this.
Oh, he didn't.
Because even I thought it was a bite.
Right.
So until the blisters form, you don't really know what it is. But it feels like somebody taking lightning bolts to your nerves and just jabbing you.
Were there any moments? I had a friend who had it, and he said, actually in the same area.
Oh, wow.
And he said, he got on the medication. He didn't always take the painkiller, didn't always, but there were a couple episodes where for about 20 seconds, there was a shooting pain in his head. Like, whoa. Were there any shooting pains or was it just
There's a dull headache throughout the whole thing, but then it's literally, it feels like lightning bolts jabbing at you.
Yeah.
And it feels like your skin is on fire. The majority of people, like you said, get it torso, front or back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a lucky few get it near their eyeball.
So there's one other thing I want to tell you about, again, because my friend told me all about this. Post-herpetic neuralgia. You ever heard of it? Oh boy, you know your stuff.
Sure do. Yeah. So that could last a lifetime.
Yeah.
You could be feeling these jabs of lightning in your nerves because, yeah, you're right. It is literally, if you had chickenpox, you have the shingles virus just laying dormant
Yeah.
in your
Good for
system
you.
waiting.
You know your stuff. I
Thank
thought
you.
we were going to start off with something pretty special, but at least you told us about that, and you seem to be smiling. It's not bothering you
I'm
too
good.
much.
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's jump to what I thought we're going to start off with, and this is kind of exciting. And tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So keep in mind that Craigers is a busy man. He's busy,
Yes.
busy, busy. Follows some people on Instagram, but doesn't always know what's going on with them. Oh, you were just in Paris? I didn't know, to my buddy. I don't know all these things because I'm busy and I don't look at every post that everybody does. But I saw a couple of your posts and I deduced, and I could be wrong, that you may now have a boyfriend. You may have a boyfriend. I'm hoping the answer is yes, because then we can talk about it. But go ahead. What's the answer?
The answer is yes.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Whoa.
Shingles doesn't care. Yeah, I do. I do. He's a delight, Craigers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to hear all about it. So let's just slow down.
Okay.
We don't have to say his name, but you're going to talk about him. You can say his name if you want. But he looked like a good-looking man.
Yeah.
Where did you meet him? How did you meet him?
I met him the old-fashioned way on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, I might have slid into his DMs in a not sexual way at all. He posted, here's the thing with this guy. About a year and a half ago, I saw a hummingbird picture in my feed. I don't follow this person, so I looked at the picture and I was like, oh, what a beautiful picture of a hummingbird. So I looked at his page, thought, oh, he's a wildlife photographer, something.
Right.
No, just some hot dude that, whatever. And I just thought, oh, what a letdown. I really wanted to see more hummingbirds. So I just swiped away from him.
Right.
And then starting in January, I don't know what my algorithm was trying to do, but he was just constantly like the top people you would know, people you should be interested in type of thing. And I was like, back off. Who is this random guy? So finally I clicked on him and I was like, oh, that's hummingbird guy.
Oh, wow.
Weird. So I followed him. He followed me. Little bit goes by and he posted an old Lincoln Continental in his stories. And I was like, that's a good looking car. I'm just going to send a little DM. I used to cover the Mecum automotive, like big auction things.
Yeah.
Just said, oh, that's a good looking car. Great, blah, blah, blah. We started talking about cars like you do. And that's where it started. So
next question. Where does he live? And again, you're on the East Coast. Tell us again where you are without giving away too much, your address or anything.
I live on the coast of Maine. I moved from Los Angeles to the coast of Maine, going on now 3 years. Yes.
Right. And what are the chances that this guy would live in Maine? 0?
Yes.
Okay.
You nailed it. Yeah.
Okay.
He does not live in Maine. He is like you, a lovely Midwestern boy. But unlike you, he now lives in Wyoming.
I thought you were going to say, unlike you, he's a very nice guy. No. Okay, so he's in Wyoming.
Yes.
So this is a long distance romance now.
It is. Oh, thank you for saying right now.
Yes. Yes. Now, okay, so let me just jump ahead because Craigers is practical.
Okay.
So, would he move to Maine? Would you move to Wyoming? Go. Or is that too much of a direct question?
I mean, it's very direct. You never
don't
know.
have to answer that. You don't have to answer.
You never know. Yeah.
Because my initial question was, how much time have you spent together? Has he visited for a week, or have you visited for a week, or what's the longest time you've spent together?
Last visit was he came on the 23rd and he left on July 6th.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah, chunks of time, and he'll be here again next week. So things are progressing in a good direction.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Let's not put pressure on it.
No.
Let's not jinx it or put pressure on it.
Let's not, because I've been jinxed enough.
Right. And you're okay dating a Trumper. Okay, that's fine. We won't go into that. These are jokes. Okay. So can he cook?
Unbelievable. Yeah. We're talking
Whoa.
breakfast, lunch, dinner kind of guy. Yeah, he's amazing. It's kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a bit much. I
Right.
literally am like, you're a Hallmark movie. What's
Oh, it's
the
that.
catch
And
type
you've
of thing?
dated people before. Did you ever have a boyfriend where it was like the first few weeks are like magic, like this Hallmark card?
Not like this, I'll tell you.
Ooh,
Yeah. He's
okay.
one of those guys that's good at everything. Like
Jack of
fix
all trades, master
yes.
of none.
Yes. Can fix
So
anything, can do he's
handyman,
just
we call that a handyman.
yes.
What does he do for a living?
Thank you for asking. He works for a company called Maven, and they're binoculars, optics, scopes, that type of thing. It's a
Mhm.
American-made company, and
Right.
he's just a guy out there slanging optics, if you will.
Okay.
But he goes to a bunch of different shows, trade shows, archery shows, that type of thing, and gets those in people's hands.
Is there any way he has a secret life that you don't know about?
Yes. Yeah, always. Always. You think I'm stupid enough to think he can't?
Is he married? Was he married? Excuse me.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes to was, no to currently.
Okay. Children?
No.
Um, what what does what does he do that bothers you that you see he's going to be really irritating? Does he have a sweet tooth? Does he drink too much? Does he do drugs?
No, no, no.
Yeah.
This is the thing, Craig, and I need you to explain this to me. I am one that will always look for a red flag.
Red flag.
It's just who I've always been.
Mhm.
Something's got to give. There's something about him that's got to be off. I've got to find it.
Right.
I don't I oh no. You just did you find it? Did you find it
Well,
already?
I forgot to ask another question. There,
Oh,
so does he have a temper?
no.
We don't know that yet.
We
We
don't know
don't
that
know
yet.
that yet.
Do you have a temper? No, I do not. I truly believe that this is a good, lovely man, and I'm
Right.
having fun, and everything is great. He's a delight, and there are green flags all around, and that's what I'm focusing on.
Okay. Green
Yeah.
flag alley. It's a
Yeah.
green flag day.
Who she is. Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy for you because you deserve this, and no matter
Thank
what,
you.
let's just let's be cautious and let's pause for poise and let's
Okay.
hope it goes well.
Okay.
I just think it's great. What is he telling his friends about you? Do you think, or do you know?
I know because I have had interactions with a few of them. He's very complimentary about
Yeah,
me, which is lovely. You want to
yeah,
hear that? Yeah.
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 And what is his drinking level as far as how much does he drink?
On a scale of 1 through 10,
Yeah.
like a 3
Oh, he
maybe.
does really okay.
Not a big
Yeah.
drinker. He'll sit, he loves a tequila. He's a big
Okay.
tequila guy.
Right.
So he'll sip a tequila, he'll maybe have a margarita if we're out getting
Sure.
tacos type
Okay.
of thing, but he's not a everyday drinker,
Right.
rarely a drinker.
Oh,
So
good.
yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So no real flaws right now. He keeps himself
Mm-mm.
in shape. He's healthy,
Yes.
and he has a nice job.
Mhm.
And he's based in Wyoming, which is
He is.
a pretty state.
Gorgeous state. I love
Yeah.
Wyoming. I used to
Yeah.
live in Utah, went up to Wyoming quite a bit, but he travels a lot for work. So he's
Right.
on the road quite a bit
Okay.
with his other
Well,
family.
I'm very happy for you because the last time we talked, I think you'd mentioned, that you were available, but
Slim
it's hard to
pickings.
me. I know people, it's kind of natural, I think, on Instagram. I know people that do the dating sites and they've had some success with that.
Mhm.
The question is, some people aren't going to be on the dating sites. Some quality people that might be good, they don't do dating sites. So you have to
Right.
meet them randomly or through friends or something. Uh, but this is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it happened really organically and sweet, and then he just kind of courted me in
Right.
the most lovely way possible, and there were, the phone calls, the voice memos, the FaceTimes, the chats. It just was a very sweet, wholesome
Right.
thing. Yeah. He's
Right.
a Michigan boy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know how they are.
That's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Very
thank
happy
you.
for you.
Thanks, Craigers.
Let's talk summer activities. Do you find yourself, this is sometimes I ask very deep questions. Do you find yourself eating more ice cream in the summer?
Thank you for asking such a deep question. I do not, because I am lactose intolerant.
Okay.
So I do not. I do notice myself eating a lot more lobster rolls,
Oh,
which living in Maine kind of
yeah.
lends itself to, but
Yeah.
I eat at least one lobster roll a week, if not two. And
Yeah.
it's become kind of concerning. I love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough to balance what you eat as far as protein.
Mhm.
I for years have not eaten too much steak, even though sometimes Omaha Steaks advertises on the Life Gorgeous, and they send me steaks, and I still I make them once a month or so. I spread it out, so I eat a lot of
Mhm.
salmon. I do eat a lot of what I hope is it's organic chicken, but people say chicken isn't the greatest, so I tend to eat a lot of seafood, not a lot of
Yeah.
lobster, mostly salmon, cod, trout.
Okay. How do you do your salmon?
I do it if I make it at home. It's just I make it with olive oil and garlic, and I usually put caper. I just like putting capers and lemon on my
Right.
fish. That's what I do. Uh, I do like at restaurants trout almondine
Ooh, real good.
a lot. I
Yeah.
was with a guy once. Now I have a friend, and this makes me laugh. This is where, again, when you get to know your guy more, there might be idiosyncrasies that drive you up the wall, and vice versa for him.
Sure.
But I have friends, a specific friend who doesn't have an advanced palate.
Mhm.
So we were actually having, I took him to a nice restaurant, and we were having trout almondine. And he scraped off all the roasted cauliflower.
Oh,
There are men that do not like vegetables.
right.
And I'm, again, protecting this guy. Hopefully he won't hear this, but it's okay. I give him crap. He loves Diet Coke. Doesn't have coffee in the morning. He has a Diet Coke.
Interesting.
He won't go to a restaurant if they don't have Diet Coke.
Huh.
But my thing is, and also I think he likes Subway sub. So my thing is, you don't have the credibility, or you're not at the level to scrape off any roasted cauliflower. It's like he doesn't know how good that is. Does
Right.
that bother you? Does it bother you when people have kind of pedestrian palates?
It doesn't, but I probably would say to your friend, "Hey, what are you scraping off?" Because I feel like he doesn't even know what he's scraping off. He just
Correct.
knows he's not gonna like it.
Yeah.
And then I would say to your friend, we'll call him Jim. I'd say, "Jim, why don't you just try it? Just do me a solid right now. Just try it. We'll see if
Yeah.
you like it. This might be
Yeah.
something new for you."
Yeah.
And if he says no, then you say, "You are such a loser, Jim."
Funny you say
And
loser, because I
yeah,
like the word loser.
yeah.
And and I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
People say my friends were all liberal because I know TV people. I'm a glorious independent, maybe the most level-headed political person in the United States of America. I'm the guy who loves Barack Obama, but had the proper admiration for Mitt Romney. Anywho, so they
Ooh.
can't say loser anymore because Trump uses loser, so he's hijacked that word. And even my friend Jim says when you say loser, they think we're talking about the less fortunate or something. No, I'm talking about guys like Jim who won't try the cauliflower, or people who walk the dog in the neighborhood and don't clean up after their dog. They're losers. But
Right. Right.
it's a fun word, and some
Mm,
people can't handle it anymore. But
yeah.
yeah, so Jimmy has a problem. And
Devastated for Jimmy. Oh,
uh milkshakes versus malts. Do you know the difference, and what is your opinion?
I would assume a malt has kind of a scoop of something in it, like a powder, right?
That is
No?
correct. I didn't think it was that difficult. Yeah, malt powder. It's just like
Yeah.
it has something. It's called malt powder. Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Sure. Malt
yeah.
powder. I think did we have this conversation before about friendlies and their fribbles?
Probably because I don't remember all our conversation, but I don't have. So listen, I just want to tell you something about Friendlies.
Okay.
When I was really young in New Jersey, I remember Friendlies, but not Fribbles.
Oh.
And because I was like 4 years old, and there was a Friendlies, and I'd have a grilled cheese sandwich with a root beer float. And then years and years later, in my 30s, I went to ESPN in Bristol, Connecticut, and there was a Friendlies across the street, and everyone got a Fribble. I never got a Fribble. I don't have a big sweet tooth.
Mhm.
Is a Fribble just a shake?
I think it is, but I like it because my Aunt Jane used to say, "Don't dribble your fribble."
Okay.
And I thought she was like a comedic genius when I was 4. It's like, that's brilliant, Aunt Jane. Yeah. Good times.
Don't dribble your Fribble. Don't double dribble your Fribble.
Oh.
So yeah, malts are pretty fun, and I keep it simple.
Okay.
I do vanilla malt or whatever, but I honestly, I'm so proud of myself. I don't have a sweet tooth, but sadly, because Princess Cherry, my significant other, when we go out to eat, she'll always get tiramisu and I do compete with people who have a sweet tooth. I'll say, that cheesecake is the greatest thing in the world. Like, I'll tell them what's the better dessert, but that's okay. Summer drinks. What are your summer drinks?
Thank you for asking.
With the lobster rolls.
With a lobster roll, if it's a place that's just like a shack, that type of thing, I'll get whatever kind of seltzer that they have. That's fine.
Okay.
But if I'm in a restaurant with the lobster roll, you best believe I'm going to have a French 75.
What is a French 75?
Oh my gosh, it's gin. It's a little bit of lemon. It tastes so summery.
Yeah.
It's just there's something so lovely and light and good.
So I don't drink gin. I drink vodka. I get what
I'm going to tell you this. I never drank gin either until I had a French 75.
Yeah.
And it changed my gin life because a gin and tonic, save it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I would always, I'm a Prosecco gal. And there's a little Prosecco in a French 75 as well. It is, I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, don't be a Jimmy, and will you order a French 75 one of the next times you go out?
So one I have to do again.
Yeah.
I have you repeat what's in it because I don't always listen.
Okay.
I'm a semi-good listener, but I'm just the creative mind is always thinking.
I want to look it up because I don't want to give you the wrong
so here's
information.
my partial answer.
Yeah.
Now all I do is vodka. Rarely do I have vermouth, so it's not officially a martini. I just have vodka shaken up with either a twist or olives or red wine.
Okay.
I don't like additives because I don't like sugar. So when I was in my 30s, I used to have a gimlet, which is Rose's lime juice, too sweet. I guarantee you in your drink here, there's going to be some kind of sugary syrup or liquor or something. You know what I'm saying?
And you are against that because of your amazing svelte figure.
Yeah, I mean, I could take a sip of it, but it's just like the worst thing you can have is an espresso martini. It's just terrible, and it's so popular.
Well, that's insanity.
But I'm just impressed because I do like. Go ahead.
Oh, I pulled it up, and you are right. There is simple syrup in it, but it's gin, fresh lemon juice, champagne or sparkling wine, lemon twist, and simple syrup. However, just have them do very light simple syrup.
Or no simple syrup.
Or no. Yeah. I'm telling you, there is something so light. It'll bring you back. You're just going to be like, this is summer.
Yeah.
And my life has changed.
You only have one of them at a time, right?
It's at a time. Yes. One at a time.
I mean, you don't have one in the same night. Do you have two in the same night or not?
I have once, and boy, the next day wasn't fun.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Those kind of drinks.
You're going to bad hangover from champagne. There's not enough champagne in there to bother you. So gin is great. I love the smell. It's more fragrant and floral because of the juniper berries, but I just don't do it. I feel different. It makes me feel different. I could say aggressive, which I don't even know if it's true, but I kind of like to joke about that. But I just stick with vodka and ice cold chilled vodka. I have to actually have one. Stunningly, we're recording this on a Friday, and I have to have one with a buddy in the afternoon today.
Okay.
And I'm going to probably wear a linen sport coat. And I can actually say where we're going because this will air next week. I'm going to the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood to have at the lobby bar, assuming it's open. He's promised me it is. We're going to have a martini this afternoon.
I was going to say, okay, so you're doing it in the form of a martini. I wasn't sure if you just drank vodka straight up.
Well, again, technically a martini has vermouth in it, but I don't, I hold the vermouth. So that's super dry. Like extra dry is very little vermouth. And I'll have 3 olives. I like a twist, but sometimes I get frustrated with, I want organic lemons. I want them to rinse the lemon properly.
Sure.
Anyways, and the olives are in a jar. It's all good. But
Vodka of choice,
so
though.
they chill the vodka. They put it in a martini glass, which is the most beautiful thing in the world, a martini glass. Ice cold.
Yeah. What is your vodka of choice, sir?
Thank you for asking. So Krager's does Chopin or Belvedere.
Okay.
I have a fondness for Kettle One. I used to drink it years ago. But there's some other ones. Like there's this one from Iceland called Reka. And real nice. Not a top shelf, but just real nice. And there's Jewel of Russia, which is a rare one and stuff. But, some people say that vodka, doesn't have a lot of flavor. You can tell the difference in them. A lot of people like Grey Goose, but they just copied the frosted bottle of Belvedere. That's why it became so popular. Similar to Corona's marketing. Corona became very popular. Nothing great about Corona. Not a sponsor. And you can just take the house vodka. Bartender said, I can shake this enough. You won't even know. It's so cold, So not a lot of flavor in vodka. Just a nice. The bartender said they like how cold it is, then it warms up going down your throat. That's what they like. But I will say, if I'm being honest to the young people, the buzz on vodka is different than any other buzz, and it's one I can handle and can control and enjoy. I feel like it's a disciplined buzz.
Even.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm okay.
Okay.
I can see everything. I can drive 55.
Okay. You
know anything about Sammy Hagar, by the way? Remember that song, You Can't Drive 55?
Of course.
He's a very nice guy. Princess Cherry works with him sometimes with wardrobe, and he's a very nice guy. Sammy Hagar. Isn't that nice to hear?
That is nice to hear, because you kind of think of him as, the crazy curly hair, kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
He had those restaurants, remember, in Cancun for a while?
Yep.
Yeah.
He has a rum, I believe. I believe it's a rum. Krager's just thought of, I'm going to go back to another boyfriend question. You want to give him a name?
We'll call him Steven.
Steven.
Because that's his name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Steve-O, no, I'm kidding. So first date was Steven in person in Wyoming or in Maine? And let's walk me through the steps.
In Maine.
Okay. He flies out. Did you pick him up at the airport?
I do not.
Okay.
He rents a car. He gets an Airbnb. He does everything gentlemanly and beautifully.
Where do you meet for the first time?
At my house.
Okay. He comes to the house.
Yes.
How many outfits did you try on before?
38. Yeah. It was one of those but settled on a really cute dress that have like these cute puffy sleeve. I love a puff sleeve.
Right.
I just do.
Yeah.
And he's tall. He is 6'6".
Did you know that prior? I guess he must have told you.
Yeah. And I, looking at pictures, I'm like, you tower over people. Yeah. I am 5'2", if a day. So I wanted to wear shoes that would make me not like a little munchkin next to him.
Right. Where he's 6'6", I'm 6'5". Where did he play? Where did he get his basketball scholarship to? His college basketball scholarship?
He did not play basketball. Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. I let you down. Way to go, Steven.
I think he let all of us down. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So he shows up. Do you have, this is the thing Kilby used to do.
Okay.
Background music as you answer. Do I have a little bossa nova playing in the background? Soft, but What'd you do for music?
I think I had Zach Bryan on.
Okay.
Who I love Zach Bryan. Might have been Chris Stapleton. Not sure. All I know is, Craig, I took one look at this guy, and we don't know each other well, but you know me enough that I'm pretty gregarious.
Yeah.
Can be pretty sassy. Yeah. Can fit in any room. I can chat with just about anyone.
Right.
I went mute.
Really?
I couldn't talk to this man. I had a hard time making eye contact. I don't know. It has never happened to me, Craig. I felt like such a weirdo. I do
Yeah.
not know what happened. And he claims it was endearing and sweet. I think I was totally creepy and
Oh,
weird. I would
he
have left.
noticed it. So you're saying he know.
Immediately. And I mean, because we would have these insane conversations and just we could talk about anything, joke
Right.
about anything. We have a
Right.
very similar sense of humor, very
Right.
similar sensibility. So for me to have opened the door, he walks in and I was like, oh, nothing.
Because so you kind of froze up.
Yeah. Yep.
And he noticed it.
Oh yeah.
And
For
did he
a long time.
and did he know that it was because you were nervous and excited and that kind of thing?
He assumed it was, and he did everything in his power to get me out of whatever catatonic state I was in. He was so gentlemanly and so kind and sweet and lovely about it. But I tell my friends, I'm like, I was such it was like I was having an out of body experience looking down at me like, snap out of it, Allie. What is going on?
Wow.
Yeah. Weird.
Interesting. How long did it last?
I say 45 minutes. He says longer.
Wow.
A long time. Like it was just like one,
So,
like
did you
I
guys
wasn't
then
not speaking.
right? It was just kind
wasn't
of
me.
right.
Yeah.
So did he drive you to the restaurant in the
No,
rental
we
car?
actually just stayed at my house and talked. And then there was a huge thunder, lightning, and rainstorm that came in, which delighted me to no end because that's my favorite. So we sat out on my porch and we had a cocktail and we chit-chatted out there. And that really is what broke the ice because I calmed down because it was my favorite weather coming on in and we talked and it was wonderful. And so that was it. We just talked and chatted for about probably 4 or 5 hours. And then he went back to his Airbnb.
Did you guys eat food? I have to understand how this works. Did you just drink on the porch with no dinner? Is that correct or what?
We had to have eaten.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because it's sometimes if you're not going to a restaurant, then you have to take time to cook, or maybe you prepared something prior, or maybe you
we have a
ordered in.
charcuterie. What did we do?
I want you to think about that. Tell me the drinks you were having on the porch.
I had Prosecco and he had what? Well,
a beer?
No, he had
red wine.
No, tequila.
Oh, tequila. Did you have some in the house?
Yes, I had bought him tequila because that's what he prefers. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so interesting that you froze up.
And
now you've never frozen up again with him.
No, he would probably prefer it. Be like, maybe go back to that a little bit if you can. Rein it in. Yeah.
I'm glad I did ask that follow-up. That's part of being a professional interviewer.
Really is.
Okay, I'm going to jump around. We are going to play a quick Life Gorgeous quiz game, just quick. And this is a more abbreviated pod today because I do have to run and get prepared for this guy early. My friend with my martini friend.
Right.
But let me hit you with something.
Okay.
Bean, the former K-Rock DJ, Bean. Mm-hmm. You're friends with him. I think you guys do a podcast together.
We do. We do a podcast on Patreon called A Cup of Tea and a Chat. It's 3 days a week. It's fun. Yes.
Oh, 3 days a week. Wow. Mm-hmm. And I'm a fan of his. Now, I know he lived in London. Mm-hmm. And it's just, and I know we've talked about it, but I just want to revisit that.
Yes.
Did he like living in London? Does he recommend it for Americans in their, retirement age to live in London? I know it's expensive, but what was his experience like in London?
He was born in London. He is a Navy brat. So he was born in London and then would go back every year.
Okay.
For months. He loves London. It's his favorite place.
Okay.
He then, I think the last time I was on, he had moved to New Orleans and was taking care of his mother-in-law, yada, yada. He is back in London, moved back.
Oh, cool.
Yep. So there's your answer. He loves London. It's his favorite place.
So I wasn't sure because I didn't get the reason. I thought he had moved to London. He was all excited. Then he moved to New Orleans, but I didn't know, maybe you said it, but I didn't know why. So does he own a place there or does he rent?
He is renting. Yes.
Okay.
Got
And
back and is renting until, I don't know if they're going to figure it out. They're in the city right now, but his wife loves the country, that type of thing. So they might go a little bit further out for their next place.
Yeah, I'm an Anglophile, and I've only been to London once in the 90s, and you can imagine that I would love it there.
Yes.
And so I always I hear it's expensive, but maybe I was just looking it up the other day. It's not. I guess it's not as expensive as New York City. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was supposed to be more expensive, but you don't know these things. This would be a question for Bean, correct?
That is a question for Bean. I would assume it's on par with New York.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great place.
Yeah.
I can see you fitting in there real well.
Well, there are friends of mine that say it's their favorite city in the world, the greatest city in the world. I sometimes, and I don't know enough about it but I would assume it's in the top 2 along with New York City, because I have friends in New York City who argue about New York versus LA, which is a silly comparison. And I just say, I'll just say New York's the greatest city, but I like California. I like the weather. I like the space, etc.
Right.
So I don't really get into those. I don't really get into those competitions with the cities. Okay, changing subjects. Sam Rubin, love him so much. It was tragic, and it happens sometimes prematurely. It was a heart condition, and it happens to people. How well did you know Sam?
Extremely well. We worked at KTLA together, and that one really hurt. Because Sam is, for people not from LA or unaware of KTLA, he's one of the OG guys at KTLA Morning News. So back in the 90s when they started, it was Sam Rubin, it was Eric Spillman, it was Carlos Amescua, Barbara Beck. This was this core group. And then Gail Anderson came in, I think, a little bit later. But this core group that changed the way the world does morning news.
Yeah.
They brought these people in, Mark Kriske, excuse me, one of the other ones.
Yeah.
They were this group of basically misfits that were doing this serious newscast. No one was watching. And their producer finally was like, just go be yourselves, have fun. Right. And they took that to a new level. And they became what is now known across the country as that kind of feel good, warm morning show that you want to tune into because they feel like they really like each other.
Yep. And
shockingly, at KTLA, they really did.
Yep.
And he was the biggest part of that. And KTLA, I've never been more happy not to live in LA than now because I couldn't watch. I wouldn't be able to watch without Sam. That would really hurt me.
So he was a legend. And when I was working, I started working in local TV in Monterey, Salinas, Monterey, Santa Cruz in 1989. And obviously I was funny and doing stuff. And then later I remember this one agent was talking to me and said, there's this guy, Sam Rubin, you got to see him. You could be funny like this guy. Blah, 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 blah. And he was already in the 90s when he started.
Yeah.
He had a personality. And I knew Don Corsini, and I remember talking to Don a few times, and he couldn't believe that I watched the KTLA. And there was a stretch there at some point where I did watch KTLA morning news, the morning show there. And I will tell, there's a story where my buddies and I, argue about should we valet, and I don't like to valet my car for a couple reasons. I've seen valets take really nice, this is at a sporting event, take a block away from the arena where they park all the Porsches and Lamborghinis, and they purposely scrape the car. They want to spark it as high as they can when they come out of the parking lot onto the street, bringing it back to the arena. Right. They want to abuse the nice cars. Okay, these guys are having fun. This was in Miami. But my other friend who doesn't like to valet, who has plenty of money, says, why pay for something you can do yourself? So part of it is, I just don't want anyone screwing with my car. And I don't mind walking, and I just don't like waiting there. So I don't mind parking a couple blocks away. And lo and behold, one day on KTLA, Sam Rubin and tell me Kresge's last name is
Mark
Kresge?
Kriske. Yep.
Mark Kriske. They're arguing about this. And Sam doesn't like to valet. And Mark Kresge goes, so you park a couple blocks. Poor Mrs. Rubin. Poor Mrs. Rubin. She's got to walk a couple blocks in her heels or whatever he said.
Oh
but
my
it was
gosh.
just so funny. But I like when people are opinionated about these small things.
Yeah.
And no, it was a bummer. Everyone loves Sam.
Yeah.
I mean, he had such a great personality, you know?
He was one of those guys, which it's very rare, especially nowadays, where he wanted to make everyone around him better. Usually there's, a little bit of the push and pull and people want to be the one that stands out. Sam was the guy that if everyone around him was better, he knew he looked better as well. But he was also a guy that he did the entertainment and he knew half the time that whatever he was reporting on was BS and nobody should care about the stuff. And he was able to tell you these things in a way that you're like, he gets it. He gets it, but he's also giving it its due. And he made everybody comfortable that he interviewed. He he was a great, great man. They wound up calling me the day that he passed. KTLA did and said, would you like to come on air and share some stories? And I'll never forget, and it involves your guy, Don Corsini, where I did a segment that is very Googleable. You can find it anywhere, and it goes viral every couple months. I did a shake weight workout, and it had every double entendre possible. And I, who is usually the jokey reporter, I kept it straight. And everyone around me was making the jokes. So it was kind of this departure and it was really fun. And we got such a huge jump from that. And it had, I think a couple days into it, it had over 3 million views on YouTube, which was unheard of back then, right? And Don Corsini didn't know until it made the AOL homepage because he was an AOL guy, apparently. So he brought us all in the office and was like, how dare you guys, blah, blah. He was livid. We all got written up and Sam spoke up and he said, Allie was just doing a news report. If anything, it's me. I'm the one that was making it bad, blah, blah, blah. And John's like, that's not true, Sam. And that's who he was. He would go to bat for you, that type of thing.
Right.
And I was pissed after this. I was like, we got so much publicity for this. You're mad because you didn't know about it, because you don't watch our show and you had to wait for it to be on the AOL homepage is what you're pissed about, essentially. Right. But we leave the meeting and Sam looks at me and in all earnestness, he looks at me and he goes, you know what? They can never take the shake weight segment away from you, ever. This is going to be what you're known for. And I was like, a shake weight video? God, I hope not.
Oh, gosh.
Turns out everyone knows me as the shake weight reporter. So that's just who he is. He would stick up for people and he was just a great guy. So I shared that on the air and luckily it was I think one of the first times Frank and Eric had laughed that whole time of doing this breaking news about Sam. They're like, oh my God, the shake weight. Yeah. So just a good hilarious guy. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, he was a legend. Thank you for sharing that. He's missed, and I know a lot of celebs who just loved him so much. There was something special about Sam Rubin. Yeah. Okay, it's time for the Life Gorgeous quiz. Simple questions, profound insights. Please rank these actresses in order of, let's see, should I do beauty or popularity, or who you like?
Let's do popularity because
who you like.
Okay, yes. Yes.
Lauren Bacall, Grace Kelly, Audrey Hepburn.
Oof. Lauren Bacall 3, Grace Kelly 2, Audrey Hepburn 1.
I might have Grace Kelly 1.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
That was a tough one.
Yeah.
I actually love Lauren Bacall because I love Bogart, and they did some film noir movies together. Dark Passages, filmed in San Francisco. Audrey Hepburn is extremely special. Is Breakfast at Tiffany's a favorite of most women?
A certain kind of woman. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's timeless.
Do you watch Downton Abbey or The Crown?
No.
No?
I know. It's very
No, that's okay.
upsetting.
I was just wondering because you said a certain type of woman. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
What TV series do you watch?
Currently, gosh, it's not a whole heck of a lot that I'm watching currently.
Do you ever watch Bosch or Bosch Legacy?
No.
Okay, you've heard of
Excellent,
it?
though, I've heard. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they film around LA and they film at, all the places, Musso and Frank Formosa and all the places. And, but Titus is a very good actor. Titus Welliver is the lead. And I enjoy it. I enjoy
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
You should check that out.
I will.
Okay, next question. Because that doesn't sound like you watch anything that you didn't think of anything. So I'll just keep it moving. Steve McQueen versus Clint Eastwood.
Oof. I'm a Clint Eastwood gal because I got to spend some time with Clint Eastwood and he's extremely funny.
Yeah.
And he makes me laugh really hard.
Yeah.
And he said one of the most biting, amazing things to me after the first time we met, where I said, my father doesn't go to movies at all. He doesn't feel the need to go to a movie theater, but if you're in something, he will go. And he's like, oh, I'd really like your dad. I'm like, you would. He's going to be here next week if you want to meet him. And he went, yeah. And he literally goes, yeah, no, I don't care. And I went, oh. And it was so like instant and classic, but he knew he could say that to me and I wouldn't be like, oh, Clint Eastwood just ruined my whole life.
That is so funny.
He's really, really funny. So I'm going to go Clint Eastwood all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know him, by the way. I met him a few times.
Oh,
I had
well,
dinner
up
with him
in
a few times because
Salinas, right?
I knew his ex-wife. What's that?
Up in Monterey, you must have run into him. Yeah.
Well, it was actually when I was his ex-wife Dina was a local news anchor in Monterey, and we were friends. And she got him on my CBS Late Late Show as a guest, and we had dinner a few times in New York. Anywho, I'm a fan. So I don't think you'll get this, but this is geography. And it's okay that you don't get it because some of my East Coast writers who live in LA, they're snobs. They don't know the flyover states.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm from Minnesota, which is in the middle. And there are 4 states that border Minnesota. Can you name 3 of the states that border Minnesota?
Wisconsin.
Correct.
Michigan.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Michigan is over here on the other side of Wisconsin. That was stupid.
That's okay. It wasn't stupid. It's
okay.
fine.
Wisconsin. South Dakota.
Yes.
Okay. Nebraska is below South Dakota. So it's not. Oh my gosh.
What's that?
It's not Wyoming.
No.
No, it's Wyoming, South Dakota, Minnesota. So there's got to be something up here.
What?
No.
Yeah. What were you going to say? You mean there's something north of South Dakota? North Dakota. They're right next to each. Yeah. So they border
sense.
Minnesota on the west. And then
okay, so it's north, south, Wisconsin.
Yeah, and then below is Iowa.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I did okay.
I thought you did pretty well.
Yeah.
The last question I have, I think I already asked you. It's what bothers you about your boyfriend. But
oh my gosh.
Is there anything?
No. He's, gosh, I don't mean to be such a smitten kitten, but no.
And how long you guys been going out?
Not long. That's why.
Well,
That's why I can.
How long? 3 weeks? A month? Month and a half? 2 months? What?
We go back to May. Yeah.
Okay. So a couple months.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. I'm very happy for you.
We'll see how it goes.
See how it. No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah. No pressure. Great to see you again, Allie.
You too, Craig.
I'll see you around the holidays. I love talking to you around the holidays. You're my holiday lady because you love to celebrate the holidays.
I do. So very much. I can't wait. Countdown is on.
Countdown is on. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Allie Mac Cay. We'll see you next time. And remember, young people, I'm proud of you.
I love the life gorgeous. Its torso is so tight.